So you're working on your Flutter application, which does a lot of computations in the background. And as a result, you notice some kind of weird behavior within your app. The performance of your app becomes very sluggish, the UI sometimes freezes, and the app becomes non-responsive. In this video, we're going to explain exactly why that happens and how you can prevent it. Let's dive right in. Dart is a single-threaded programming language. What is a thread? A thread is a sequence of commands that your computer executes. You may think of it as a conveyor belt, the ones we see in a factory or an airport, where you put on your luggage and it scans them one after the other. This is exactly what happens when you run your Dart code, but instead of scanning them, it executes them. That being single-threaded does not mean that you cannot utilize additional threads to make the performance of your application even better. Now you may be wondering, since that is going to be single-threaded anyways, isn't the main thread just enough? You're right, it is. Well, most of the time. The problem is, sometimes your main thread becomes overwhelmed by the amount of expensive computations and tasks you're killing it with. As a result, you notice some kind of annoying behaviors that causes your app to be non-responsive. Expensive computations can appear in various forms. For example, you're doing some kind of image processing, sometimes even data parsing, and sometimes even doing an expensive search. Well, this can all be an example of expensive tasks, and that's where that isolate comes into play. That isolate allows you to offload some of your expensive tasks and put them on a separate thread where they run independent of the main thread. So your main thread can then focus on updating your UI and giving the users the best experience. The inspiration to make this video came to me while I was working on my side project. It was a Quran application. It allows the user to search for any verse in the Holy Quran using your voice. What it does is, it takes in your voice as input and then it converts it to text, whether in Arabic or in English, and then it loops through every verse in the Holy Quran and compare it to your search terms to see if they match or not. If they match, it returns those verses to you as a list. And mind you, the Quran has more than 6,000 verses. I'm not even talking about words. There are multiple words. We are talking about verses. There are verses that are even one page long, and some are even half, some even a quarter page. So you can imagine the kind of work it's going to do. This qualifies as an expensive task. So I'm going to run the application, one with that isolate and one without that isolate. And we're going to notice the difference in the performance of the application. This is the search without using that isolate. So I'm going to search with my voice and in English language. The term I'm going to search is, let's say, Jacob. What you're going to notice is when I search the UI didn't respond in any way. It only responded after doing the whole search. So let me do another search and see, and you'll see. Normally, it's supposed to show a loading indicator, but it doesn't because the main thread is busy trying to search for the verse instead of updating the UI. So let's search for another one and see if we will have the loading indicator. Abraham. You see, the UI only changes after the search is being complete. So let's try and test with the other one and we'll see how it works. After adding that isolate, I am trying to run the search. We'll see the difference right here. The difference is, what you'll notice is you'll see a circular indicator right under the no result text. So let's search. The first search, we're going to say Jacob. You see how the UI responded? Because the main thread is free to update the UI. It's not occupied by the other tasks because the tasks are running on a separate thread. So let's try another one. Abraham. You see? It updates the UI. So this kind of gives your users the idea that, hey, the app is not frozen, it's doing something. Unlike the other one, where it just completely stops responding until the result is back. Let's try another one with the Arabic. Ibrahim. Yep, and it worked. In this video, we only talked about why it happens and how you can prevent it. In the next video, I'm going to write a code to show exactly how you can achieve that. So if you're interested in knowing how you can do that, just look out for the next video. Thanks for your time.